Okay. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I am the Y2K collector and I'm back with a quick video here. It's the middle of the week. It's all downhill from here. And so we're looking forward to the weekend, some things that we've got going on. And it's always exciting when the work week is on the back end or on the back half. So good stuff there. Wanted to talk real quick today about where I think the direction of my collection or collecting is going to go. And then also talk about just what I'm seeing and what I've learned from the week of game hunting that I did last week, and just kind of some of my thoughts from what I've seen here. So let me just start off with my collection. So I did a video a few weeks back talking about why I think that my game collecting would be grinding to a quick halt, and it was because at that point all of the systems that I had been collecting for the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Dreamcast, Sega Saturn, PSP and PS Vita, those were the main systems that I had been building my collection for over the past 3 or 4 years. So and I had gotten to the point where I had gotten everything that I wanted for both of those systems for the most part, and in my mind I was like, well, there's nothing left to collect. And so that's kind of where I went from there. And then I started to play some Switch games. I was in the midst of playing some Switch games, and I realized, okay, you know what? There are some old school gems, that are out there on the Super Nintendo as well as the Sega Genesis. And I do own a Super Nintendo, a classic Super Nintendo, not the mini, a regular Super Nintendo. And then I also own a Sega Genesis. And I only had one game, this pretty much, actually I had a few games for my Sega Genesis, but I traded a lot of my Sega Genesis games away a few years ago because I felt like, I'm done with the cartridges. Nothing too crazy in that lot. I think it was like X-Men, games like that. As I started going through and looking at some of the shoot 'em ups that I had, I started realizing, the shoot 'em ups that I have on the Sega Saturn are amazing, but there are some really great ones on the Sega Genesis, and there are even some better ones on the Super Nintendo. And so I told myself, well, you know what? I wouldn't mind picking up the shoot 'em ups for the Super Nintendo and the shoot 'em ups for the Sega Genesis. I think I could make room in my collection for those, as well as select side scrollers and select beat 'em ups, just certain ones, right? So are the ones that I'd be going for. So, and definitely I'm putting together a list of games that I'd like to collect for both of those consoles. Don't need to have them all complete in box. I think it would be great to get the boxes for the Sega Genesis games, because those are easy to just put on a shelf and just stack. So those are super easy. I don't mind doing loose cart on the SNES because it's SNES. The boxes are great, but they're boxes. They're gonna break down eventually. So I'm not too keen on Super Nintendo boxes or manuals for that matter. Loose is fine for me with the SNES. I'll take those all day. So that's kind of where I think I'm going with the collection. Really have almost come to a halt on PSP and Vita. I picked up a couple PSP games not too long ago, but not too much there. I haven't bought a Dreamcast game in forever. The last game I think I got for the PS2 was Disaster Report, and that was just that one kind of fell into my lap. And then I had I think that's it. I hadn't really Xbox. That's where I'd been at, concentrating on Xbox. And the Xbox pool is so low, it's just kind of like there's really not a ton for me to fish for an Xbox based on the games I play. And the same could be said for the Wii U as well as the Wii. So after all of that jabbering and blabbering, I'm gonna kind of just get to 6 pickups that I've made recently. Good news is I did discover a thrift store that does carry retro games. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of cool at the same time. So it's weird that I found that at this time. But anyway, made 5 pickups from there. Got a great deal on all of them. Probably going to be selling a few. Some I'm going to be keeping in my Wii collection because I don't have them anymore. But first game that I picked up is this is going to be a throw you for a loop, but WarioWare DIY. So I picked this up on the Nintendo DS. Really, really great deal on this one. And this looks like a pretty fun and unique Wario game. Got to use your imagination here. It's pretty wacky. I had never heard of it, but this was super crispy. I mean, complete in box, minty fresh, has the manual, has all of the extra pieces of paperwork. So I picked that one up. It was, dirt. And then they also had another super clean copy of Mario Wii. Again, all of the inserts, the manuals, crispy, just tip top. Pick that up. I had this. I was playing this religiously with a group of friends a few years back. We play this game every night, and I think my friend wound up breaking his copy, and then I think I just left my copy over at his house. So I don't have that anymore. So pick that up. Again, it was there. Great deal. And I'm finding that it's so easy to pick up Nintendo games. Like once I kind of took my eyes off PlayStation and Sega, it's like there's Nintendo games everywhere. So it's super easy to collect for. Mario Super Sluggers, he had this as well. I've never played this, but this looked like a cool one. So I picked that up, complete in box. And then he also had Mario Sports Mix. So this was another one. And I do plan on getting the Wii bat, the Wii tennis racket, the Wii golf club, all that jazz. We're going all in on that. But yeah, so, and you can pick up whole bundles. Like if you go to Marshall's, you could pick that up for like $3, like $5. You could find those. So I'm gonna have to find one of those out. But yeah, pick that up. And then I had 2 pickups because I hadn't seen these in any stores and I got tired of looking. And I did get a Game Boy Advanced in one of my more recent pickups. So I kind of said, it kind of be good to get like a small, complete in box or even sealed Game Boy Advance collection, but only certain ones. And so I was able to spot a deal. There's a game store that's a little bit of ways away from me, but they had this complete in box sealed. This is Puzzle Fighter 2. Actually Super Puzzle Fighter 2. And I have this on the Sega Saturn. This is a fun game. So pick that up. And then after that, I was able to spot, this was an online pickup. This was one of the few online pickups from this week. And I picked up Xenoblade Chronicles X. I do have all the Xenoblade games on the Switch. Xenoblade 1, 2, Torna Golden Country or Compass or something like that. And yeah, I think I have all those. So I figured I'd add this one on the Wii U because the Wii U doesn't have a lot of really action adventure type games. The Wii U doesn't really have a ton of it. Wii U has a ton of shovelware. Like they should put it should have been called the Wii US, like the Wii U shovelware system. But no, there's some good ones on the Wii U. A lot of the great ones were obviously moved over to the Switch, but the Wii U is dirt cheap right now, and there are still some pretty cool exclusives that you can get on there. So I think even if there's only 10 to 15 games that are great on the Wii U, it's still, at these prices, it's still a great console to pick up if you can. And so that kind of does it for me with this episode. I think, like I said, moving forward, I think now is the time for me to kind of turn my attention towards Nintendo. I think just Nintendo has gotten so much hype for so long that, you're starting to see prices on certain things come down, and there's so much competition because everybody's selling Nintendo stuff, and Nintendo stuff is some of the easiest stuff to find at garage sales. Everyone always has something from Nintendo. If you go to a garage sale, 8 times out of 10, the games you see there are going to be Nintendo. And if they're not Nintendo, they're going to be Xbox. I find it extremely rare that you go to a garage sale or even a game store or thrift store. It's hard to find like super solid like PlayStation games, or even Vita games. I do have some stores near me that do have great Vita games, but I never see any of that stuff at garage sales. Never see it at Goodwill. Nowhere where you're getting it at like dirt, bottom of the road cheap. So those are just some of my observations from what I've seen over the last week and just comparing it with what I see online and in local stores. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you see near you. What kind of trends are you seeing? What do you see happening with some of these games, for brand new collectors who are just getting into the hobby, who may want to start a Super Nintendo collection today? What's the most feasible way for them to get into it? Let me know down in the comments. Again, I am the Y2K Collector. Hopefully you're having a great day, and I will talk to you. Take it easy.